Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Let's start our class with duas. Ya Rabbi lakal hamdu kama yambaghi li jalali wajhika wa azimi sultanik. Alhamdulillah. Allahumma rabbana lakal hamdu bima khalaqtana wa razaqtana wa hadaytana wa farrajta anna. Allahumma lakal hamdu bil iman. وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ بِالْقُرْآنِ أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وعملا متقبلا ورزقا طيبا اللهم ثبتنا عند الموت بلا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. Lesson number 8 by the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are going to start and this lesson is going to be about a fragment called al-Jarr fragment. So what's going on? We started with the ism. Remember that we said that in Arabic there are three kinds of words: ism, fi'l, and harf. And then we were talking about ism only. We didn't touch harf or fi'l yet. And then ism, we said that ism have four properties, right? Status, number, gender, and type. And we were all discussing that. And alhamdulillah, by the izn of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are done our status. So we are done four properties of ism, which is sorry, we are done status, right? So, and what was the status? That status can be of three kinds, right? It could be an rafa, nasab, and jar, right? So we are done all the status is basically done. We didn't touch the other properties yet. The first property of ism is done, which was status, and the rest, inshallah, we are putting them on pause because we want to learn few things that are related to what we already learned, and inshallah that will motivate us and that will help us to understand a bit of Quran and bit of basically we are putting whatever we learned into action now. So what I said, let me repeat one more time, that we are done our status, which is the first property of ism, right? And now we are taking pause. We are not learning the rest of the three properties yet. We are going to learn few fragments which are related to what we already learned. On base of that, so we are kind of bringing that learning into action now. So with that connection, we are going to start fragment. And what is a fragment? Basically, we learned that every language has alphabets, right? So in Arabic, we have alif, ba, ta, right? And in English, we have A, B, C. So every language has alphabets, and then these alphabets come together and they make words, and the words come together, make fragment. Fragments come together and make sentences. Sentences come together and make paragraphs and essays, right? Articles. So this is how any language works. So we are going to start fragment today. And there are 5 different kinds of fragment in Arabic. And we are going to learn about them and the example of what is a fragment. So as I said that this is more than a word, but less than a sentence. So what is a fragment? Basically, fragment is less than a sentence, but more than a word. And the example is if I say small bird, right? So this small bird is not a complete sentence, right? Unless I say there is a small bird in my backyard, right? Then it is a complete sentence. But small bird is just a fragment. Or I say to the airport, right? If I just say airport, this is a word. Then I add to and the to the airport. Now it is a fragment. And still it is not making complete sense unless I say that I want to go to the airport, right? So this is basically a fragment. And as I said that there are different kinds of fragment in Arabic. Some of them are going to be ism and ism fragment, meaning two isms are coming together. They have some special relation with each other. And sometimes harf and ism can come together and they can have a special kind of relation. So today we are going to start a fragment which is harf and ism fragment. Okay, so that's why we are calling that harfu jar fragment, because it is a harf. So let's start. So as I said, there are different kinds of fragments. One of them is Mosuf Sifa fragment. I'm not gonna go in a detail. The other name you can just remember that it is a copycat, meaning it kind of copy. Basically, Isam Sifa is Isam and Isam fragment, and both Isam, they copy each other in all four properties of Isam. So their status, number, gender, and type will be same. So that's why we are calling them copycat. So Mosuf Sifa fragment, then we have Idafa fragment, and kind of Idafa fragment we learned last class when we were attaching an attached pronoun with the ism. Basically what we were doing, we were creating the Idafa fragment. For example, I say Rabbu and then I attached hu with it. Rabbu hu, what is the translation? His Rab. And this is Idafa fragment. So this is one way we can create Idafa fragment, which we already learned, Alhamdulillah. And Idafa fragment, basically it shows possession or belonging. Then we have number third, Harfu Jar fragment, which we are going to learn today. Then we have Harfu Nasab fragment. Inshallah, again, this is Harf and Ism fragment, same like Harfu Jar. So Harf and Ism fragment, Harfu Nasab is also Harf and Ism fragment. So these two, number 3 and 4, are Harf and Ism fragment. The rest of them are all Ism and Ism fragment. Number 5 is Ismul Ishara fragment, meaning pointing. So sometimes you're gonna say Hazal Baiti, this house. So you're gonna say something about this house. So Hazal Baiti. Haza Baiti is something different. Hazal Baiti is something different, and that is some ishara. Inshallah, when we go there, I would explain more. So now, as we said that Harf, we are going to learn today Harf and Ism fragment, which is Harfu Jar and Ism Majrur fragment. And before we go that, we need to revise our Harf definition. What is a Harf? Harf is a word that does not make sense unless some ism comes after it. For example, two is a harf, right? So to itself is not going to make sense unless I add something to it. I say to the airport. Now it's a little better, right? So someone can guess that I'm saying that I want to go to the airport, right? So, and same is if I just say in, does not make sense unless I say in the house, right? It make a little bit sense now. Or I say with, does not make sense unless I say with me. So someone is with me, right? So the harf does not make sense by itself. And one more thing about harf is that they do not have any properties. Who has a property? Ism has property, right? So ism has 4 properties: status, number, gender, type. But harf, they do not have any properties, rather they have a job. So what is the job of the harf? We will learn as we go. And today our first harf category that we are going to learn is harfu jar. Harfu jar. And these harf are, what is their job? That their job is that whatever come after it, and it is basically always an ism will come after it. So after harfu jar, what we are expecting? Always ism after it, and that ism should be or would be in jar status always. Okay, so this is again 100%. So whenever we have harfu jar, we are expecting an ism after it, and that ism will be jar in status. The closest thing to harf in English is preposition. How do we translate harf? We say preposition, right? But as we know that we are calling ism as noun, right? But ism is a bigger category than a noun, right? But we don't have a choice. In the same way, harf, we translate them as preposition, but they are more than preposition. So we need to remember that. And today we are going to learn ism and harf fragment. So let's start. Okay, there is again, I just put in a picture kind of summary of all these 5 fragments. So this is the fragment, harfu jar fragment, that we are going to learn today. And as I told you guys already, that there are all different kind of fragments, and some are ism and ism fragment, and some are ism and harf fragment, and only 2 of them, harfu jar and harfu nasab, are harf and ism fragment, and the rest 3 of them are ism and ism fragment. Okay, so now harfu jar. Harfu jar, there are 17 harfu jar. How many? 17 harfu jar in total. And we are going to learn 11 of them because they are used in the Quran. So we are not interested the rest of them, rather our focus would be only the 11 of them which are used in the Quran Pak. What is harfu jar? So as I said, that harfu jar has a job. So what is the job of harfu jar? This is my harfu jar over here, which is fi. And after harfu jar, there is going to be an ism. And this harfu jar's job is to make this ism jar in status. So when I see fi, I'm expecting baiti, not baitu or baita. That would be totally wrong. So after fi or whatever more harfu jar we will learn, after harfu jar, what we are expecting an ism jar in status. And how we label them? We say fi is our harfu jar, And al-Bayti is ism majroor 5 times. Fi harfu jar, al-Bayti ism majroor. Fi harfu jar, al-Bayti ism majroor. I want to hear everyone. Fi harfu jar, al-Bayti ism majroor. Fi harfu jar, al-Bayti ism majroor. So this is how we are going to label them. And one more thing which is quite important to learn, that these harfu jar and its victim. So who is the victim? This ism after it, which is always jar in status. We can call them its victim or its ism. So this ism majroor and this harfu jar, they are always be together. They cannot have long distance in between. We will learn some other fragments. In these fragments, sometimes they have a long distance in between, right? So something is maybe harf or some ism is in the beginning of the sentence, and its victim or its ism is coming at the end of the sentence. That can happen. But we are talking about harfu jar and ism majroor. As long as they are concerned, they are always together. So they are bari. So nothing can come in between. So fil bayti, they cannot have a long distance in between them. Harfu jar and its victim, harfu jar and ism majroor, whatever you wanna call, they never have a long distance in between them. Okay. So now Jar-Majrur fragment, this fragment is made up of 2 parts. What are the 2 parts? Harfu jar and ism majroor, right? These are the 2 parts. This is how we are going to label Jar-Majrur fragment. The first is called harfu jar or jar. So this is how you are going to write it down. And this is a harf that puts the ism that comes after it in the jar status. The second is ism, so always ism, and that follows and is jar in status. So the ism after it will always be jar in status. And this part is going to be called ism majroor. Ism majroor. Ism majroor. I really want you guys to say these terms because these are important, and you guys need to make it familiar on your tongue. This is the first 2 reason for a word to be jar in status. Nothing can come between jar and majroor fragment. Okay, the 2 parts of this fragment cannot have a long distance relationship. Also know that harfu jar can only effect an ism. Okay, so harfu jar, we cannot have 2 harf together and then harfu jar, we are expecting that, for example, we have fi harfu jar, and then I can have another harfu jar, which is ila or ala, and then I'm expecting that they will be together. No, that is not going to happen. So after harfu jar, I always need an ism, and that ism should be jar in status. It never followed by a harf or a fi'l, and there are 17 harfu jar, and we need to memorize them, recognize them. Okay, what are they? They are ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So this is the order. This is very smooth and fluent on your tongue, this order. So that's why we memorize in that order. And what they mean, inshallah, we will see, but we need to say them at least 5 times. So everyone is familiar with these harfu jar. So who is ready to say them? We can see the screen and say them 5 times, and we can take turns. Who is ready? Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Ba, ta, ka, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
Yeah, we need to show the difference between ala, right? This is ain, right? And ila. Do not mix them. Do not confuse with these two sounds, right? So this is ala and this is ila. Ala mean on. We see in Quran Pak a lot, right? Ala Rasulullah, right? Ala Rasulullah and alayka, alayhu, right? All these words. And then ila mean going towards somewhere. Ila suki, someone is going to the marketplace. Okay, one more time. Ba, ta. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Ba, ta, ka, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
Very good. Very good. One more time.
Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila.
Very good. And what we are expecting, Sarish, after them?
Ism.
An ism. And what status would be the ism?
Jar.
Always jar. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so moving on. Now let's see their meanings. So ba, we see one very like subhanallah, the bismillah, we say many times in our day, right? So ba basically in bismillah is harfu jar, and then we have basically this, the word bismi is murakkab, meaning mixture of two words, right? Ba is one, which is harfu jar, and then ismi, it is ismi. So this is our ism majrur. So bismi and then Allahi, right? Another jar. And inshallah soon we are going to see why it is jar, right? Or we say in the name. So ba we translate with the name, in the name, by the name, right? All these translations are good for ba. And bismillahi, right? Can you guys guess when I say in the name of Allah? Why the word Allah? Why the word Lafzul Jalala is jar in status? Listen to my words. Listen to my translation. In the name of Allah. So this is basically after of, right? In the name of Allah. After of. We already learned that after of, whatever after of, basically jar in status. So that's why it is jar in status. And inshallah soon we are going to learn properly in detail what we are talking about here. So bismi, basically two words, ba is harfu jar, ismi is ism majrur, and this is the example of how this ba is harfu jar and having ism after it, jar in status. Bismillahi. Then ba, we say ta, right? Tallahi. And this ta is basically used for swearing, and swearing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. And it has some special implication that we will see in a bit. So tallahi used for swearing. Then we have ka, and the example is ka asfin. We recite Surat Fil, right? And in that ayah, one of the ayah is فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, right? So فَجَعَلَهُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about who? That Abraha and its army, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them by the little bird, right? Who were having some stone in their mouth, and they were just showering over them, and they were like what? So ka mean like. So ka mean like, and asfin is basically, asf is like the stewed or eaten straw, you know, that what these animal eat, basically the animal's food. In Urdu we say chara, right? So that basically the dry grass or whatever they eat, this is what it is. So they were a big arrogant army, but after the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what were their condition? They were like ka asfim ma'kul, something that is being chewed up, right? So ka mean like, and asfin is the straw, and ma'kul is the eaten one. Then we have ba, ta, kaf, and next is lam. And we will see lam a lot in Quran Pak. And one of the example is alhamdu. What do we say? Lillahi. Lillahi is basically two words. Lam is harfu jar, and the word Allah is ism majrur. We never say, when you guys are labeling, make sure that we do not say that Allah is jar in status. That would be very disrespectful, right? So instead we are going to say the word Allah, or the lafzul jalala is jar in status over here. Okay, so be in that habit, saying it. So lam is harfu jar. The word Allah is ism majroor over here. Lillahi, alhamdu, all all praise and gratitude belongs to Allah, or for Allah, right? So all these translation for, or have even we can say, right? So all praise and gratitude Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. Then wallahi, right? This basically, this waw is harfu jar over here, and after that you will see the word Allah, jar in status, wallahi. But we need to be mindful that this lam and this waw is not act like harfu jar only, rather they have many different purpose in Quran Pak. So they have many different jobs in Quran Pak, we will see. So inshallah, I would explain that when we are going to see them as a harfu jar, what are the marker, how we are going to recognize that this is harfu jar, and when what are the other instance where they are not acting as a harfu jar. So same is like this waw. Waw can be harfu jar, and we will see many oath Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took on his creation, right? Washamsi, wallayli, wannahari. So many oath Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took. And after this waw, if we see isam majroor after it, then yes, it is harfu jar. Otherwise, we're gonna take it. Inshallah, as we go, we will learn that this is something else, because waw can be the connector, right? So we use in Quran Pak, in English or other language, we use connectors. We say like moreover, or and, because, right? All these, then, right? So these connector we also have in Arabic too, and waw sometimes play the role of connector too. So waw has many different purposes. One of them is that it is harfu jar, but we are going to see them as a harfu jar only when we have ism majroor after it. Otherwise, it might be playing a different role. And then we have min. Again, min from. And we will see in Quran Pak, min Allahi, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran Pak has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasul has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So min from. Then we have fi. Fi mean in or about. Fil baiti, in the house, right? So we see fi harfu jar, baiti is a majroor. Then we have an, which mean about or away from. And the example in Quran Pak, we will say an zikrillahi. This is beautiful ayah to open up our eyes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tulhikum amwalukum wala auladukum an zikrillahi. O believers, your wealth and your kids, your relationships should not make you. Al-haka is very beautiful word, meaning when we get distracted from something very important to a very insignificant thing. That is alha. So tulhikum is basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do not get distracted from the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by these amwal and awlad. And subhanallah, we see if we look at our schedule and our lifestyle, so we are running behind all these amwal and kids, right? So all our activities, all our energies are just going behind all these things. And where is the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So basically, this is a great reminder for us. So this is an, and then ala mean on, upon, or against. The example is khatamallahu ala qulubihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put seal on their hearts, right? So these are special kind of people who were very stubborn, right? Kufare Makkah. So basically this ayah was about them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put seal on them. So they are not going to be guided ever. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make among them who just are so heedless that then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide to put a seal on the heart. And ala qulubihim, so you see ala is harfu jar, and then after that is qulubi, right? Qulubi, jar in status, and then him. Do we know that when we have ism with attached pronoun, so what is the status of this attached pronoun then? Do we remember our last class? Always jar. So basically this is attached pronoun, their hearts, right? And when we say his heart, their heart, his book, their book, my book, right? So basically this is kind of belonging or possession we are showing. And this is idafa fragment. So subhanallah, when we will go to idafa fragment, that would be easy because we are already learning about them. Then we have hatta. Hatta mean until. And hatta, again, same like lam have different roles, waw have different role, right? Even min has different role. So we are learning about these harfu jar, right? But many of them, they have many other roles to play too. Hatta is also one of them. And hatta as a harfu jar come in Quran Pak only twice. Otherwise, it is coming as in a different role. Okay, one more time. Hatta as a harfu jar comes in Quranic Pak only twice. Otherwise, it is coming in a different role. And these are the two instances we can see hatta coming as a harfu jar. What are they? Hatta hin. So hinin, you see that this is jar in status. So again, how we are going to recognize them? That after hatta, if you see an ism jar in status, easy that this is harfu jar. Otherwise, it is something else. And then the next example is hatta matulail fajr, Surat Qadr, right? So until the rise of the fajr, or yeah. So hatta, and then you have matla'i, matla'i. So this is jar in status. Then we have ila. Ila mean to or towards, and we say ilal masjidi. So ila is harfu jar. Al masjidi is some majrur. So I'm hoping that all these example you guys need to at least we have more example in next slide. So but at least for one word you guys need to remember one example. So like one phrase, so that stick in your head. It's important. So harfu jar again makes the ism after it jar in status, and they do not have any long distance between them. So these two very important facts we need to remember about them. And then again, waw for oath, lam, as I said, lam can be having different roles. And now lam, when we are saying that this is harfu jar, and what gonna happen as a harfu jar, when it get attached to an ism, then it is always going to be taking e sound. So for example, lillahi. So I know that this lam is harfu jar and the word Allah is ism majrur over here. Or we say li rasulin, for the rasul. So rasulin is telling me that this li is harfu jar over here. But one thing we need to remember, that the same harfu jar, when it want to attach with the attached pronoun, then it's not going to take e sound, rather it is going to take fatha. So it would be lahu, lahu ma, lahum, right? Laha, lahuma, lahunna, and then laka, lakuma, lakum, laki, lakuma, lakunna. But only time it is going to take e sound when it comes to li. When it comes to ana version, it is going to take e sound. The rest of them, all 13 rest sigas, it is going to take a sound. So this is very important to remember. Then ka, we already saw that. Ta already saw, ta is for special oath for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it has a lot of emotion in it. And then ba, we see the example bil bismillah, right? So now another example is bil haqqi. Bil haqq in Quran Pak, that remind me the ayah, and I put this ayah over here. It says khalaqallahu samawati wal arda bil haqqi. So let's apply our knowledge what we learned so far. So khalaqa, I'm telling you, it means he created. And then the word Allahu. So what is the status of Allahu over here? I hear U sound, that means this is my doer. So translation would be Allah has created. Allah has created. What does Allah has created? samawati. It's all over here, right? It is samawatin, muslimatin, right? So this is ending. Is that nasab or jar? What status is samawatin? It is nasab or jar. And over here, it is a detail, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. What does he has created? It is giving me the answer of what, right? So this is a detail. So that's why we're gonna say that samawati is nasab in status over here, right? And because I put, there is al over here, right? So because of al, it's not samawatin, rather as-samawati, right? Because when seen is shams letter, right? So whenever something get attached, we attach al, and before al we have something to get attached to this word, then we do not pronounce this hamza over here, this alif over here, because this is weak hamza, and that's why it just connected. So khalaqallah samawati. We don't say khalaqallahu as-samawati, right? So this is not how we read, rather khalaqallahu samawati. And then wal arda. Now wow over here, you guys tell me, is that harfu jar? Wal arda, right? So this is not wal ardi, right? Rather wal arda. So this wow is not connector. This wow is connector over here. It's not harfu jar. It's not the wow of oath here. Okay. So wal arda. And what is wal arda telling me? That this is another nasab. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created what? Heavens, one thing. And what else? Wal arda, and the earth. And bil haqqi. Now ba, what is this ba? Our harfu jar. And al-haqqi is ism majrur over here. Ba is harfu jar, al-haqqi is ism majrur, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this heaven and the earth with a purpose, with truth, right? So what a beautiful reminder for us in Quran Pak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, do you think I have created all these, and this samawat, we know, we just see the first sky. We haven't seen anything else yet. And there are 7 skies like that, right? And even we do not know the layers of earth. And where we are just a speck in this heaven and earth, right? So these heaven and earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that he has created out of purpose, for a reason, right? So meaning that, oh human being, you have a purpose in your life. I did not just created you to spend a life like a animal. You just wake up, you go to work, you work all day, exhaust yourself, you come home, and now you are tired, so you need to relax yourself. So spending hours and hours on social media in the name of relaxing yourself, then go to sleep, and next day again the same routine. And the weekend, oh, it's a weekend, I work hard all 5 days, now I have to, I don't know how I can enjoy myself, going crazy before all these fake enjoyments, right? This is not the purpose. The purpose is something else. And the purpose, even in other ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clearly saying, Wama khalaqtul jinna wal insa illa liya'budun. And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. So this is the purpose. And worship does not mean that it means just do your salah and just read Quran and do Hajj once in a life, and these are the purpose of our like our creation. Rather, this ibadah, this worship is all 24/7. Whatever we are doing in our life, we are not in salah all 24 hours, but we are in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning we are abiding by his rules. We are given a manual how to spend this life. So we are making sure that 24/7 we are within the boundaries. We are not crossing these boundaries. This is ibadah, right? We have to work. We have to earn money. We have to fulfill our responsibilities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put on us, right? But within the boundaries. We do not cross the boundaries. So this is beautiful message over here. Then we have, so these are some of the Harf-Jar, and then we have an. The example, another example is anil anfal. So they are asking about anfal. What is anfal? Anfal is war booty. So then we have fi dinillahi, in the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Min sharri, from the shar. Then ila or ila rushdi. So it should be all over here. Ila rushdi, and then ilayka. So these are the example of ila. Hatta hin. We already saw that. Ala. So it could be alallahi or it could be alaykum. And remember that ala and ilayya, ila, for both of them, when we are attaching ya, the ana version, then it would be with shadda. So ala will become alayya and ila will become ilayya, right? So we need to remember. Another example is wal asr. So many example you're gonna find in Quranic Pak. So I have given you some homework, which I already underlined some words, and you guys need to label them. But I highly recommend that throughout the week, every day, you're gonna open up one page of Quranic Pak, and you are going to underline all the Harf-Jar that you can find. And then translation can help you out, right? Because we are very new to this concept. So you might be assuming something which is not. So you know the meanings of all these Harf-Jar. So then you need to read the translation and see that if it is Harf-Jar or if it is playing the role of Harf-Jar, because I said that these words, they are not, their job is not only to be Harf-Jar, rather they can be something else as well. So wal asri, again, beautiful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the time. That time is running. So human being, you need to fulfill your purpose, basically. Then anis sa'ati, sa'a mean day of judgment, right? One name of day of judgment is sa'a. So they are asking about sa'a. And we see that an is Harf-Jar, as-sa'ati is a majrur over here. And now very interesting over here is fi adna. Now you're gonna see, oh, this adna is not in jar in status. But remember, we learned something being non-flexible, right? Do you remember? So there might be some ism after this Harf-Jar, which is non-flexible. So that's why it is not going to show us, but we know that fi is Harf-Jar. So this adna is basically ism majrur over here, but it is not showing us. Okay, keep that in your mind. Then we have lana. So again, what did I say about this Harf-Jar when it's attached to attached pronoun, it is going to take fatha sound, right? So lahu, lahum, and lana. Only the exception is with li. So when it comes to ana, it will be li, otherwise it is going to take fatha. Okay, now let's label them, these words together. So you guys can ask to co-host to unmute you guys, and you guys can participate. So ba, the example of ba is bil mu'minina. How we are going to label them and how we are going to translate? Ba could be, yes, and
Mu'minina is the ism.
what
Plural.
kind? Just ism is not good enough to say. Ism majrur.
Yeah, ism majrur, sorry.
Okay, but Sarish, it is taking fatha sound over here. Is it ism majrur?
Combo.
It's combo.
Yeah. Okay, so we should know that this fatha should not confuse us. So mu'minun, mu'minan,
Mu'minin.
mu'minani,
Nani
mu'minaini,
mu'minin. Mu'minin.
mu'minuna, and
Mu'minina.
okay, so this ba is harfu jar and al mu'minina is ism majrur over here. And how we are going to translate?
What does mu'minina mean?
Believers.
The believers.
With the believers.
With the believers.
Yes, with the believers, by the believers, right? So all these meanings can be taken according to the context. Then ta, it says qalu. Qalu mean they said. So they said what? Tallahi, by Allah. So this is Surat Yusuf, and this is the brother talking to kind of, they are having meeting, and I think they are talking to their father and saying that you are not going to cease remembering Yusuf alayhi salam. So this is the ayah. So tallahi, by Allah, right?
Yep.
And this is the special way to swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then ka asfin. So ka, what is ka mean?
Ka means like.
And asfin would be what?
Straw. Eaten straw. Eaten.
Yeah, but how are we gonna label asfin?
Ka is harfu jar and asfin is ismi jar.
Very good. Ism majroor.
Agreed.
Okay, so asfin is ism majroor. And then we see asfin and ma'kulin. So this is very special relation these two words have, but I'm just showing you that you start noticing what's going on, but inshallah we are going to, this is basically another fragment that we are going to learn very soon. So basically ka asfin, ka is like, and asf is, I said, and that, that dry grass, right? So dry grass, so they were like a dry grass, or we say that chewed up, ma'kul is chewed up. So they are eaten straw. They were like eaten straw. Okay, then we have lam, right? And for lam, we know that lakum, right? So this lam is harfu jar and this kum is ism majroor, attached pronoun, right?
Yep.
How are we gonna translate?
And
Welcome.
for you.
Yeah, wow mean and lakum is for you, and this is plural. And again, one more time, I'm reminding you guys that this lam, when it is get attached to attached pronoun, it is taking fatha, lahu, lana. But when comes to ana, it will be li, not like even we cannot pronounce properly, right? With fatha.
Yeah.
So li is better. Then we have wal asri. So wow again. Harfu jar. Is that harfu jar or something else here?
It's a harf of jar.
It is Harf jar.
How do we know?
Because wal
It's
asri, it's jar.
Exactly.
Jar
Yeah.
Majrur.
So after wow, not every wow would be harfu jar. Okay, because we have so many vows in Quran Pak. So not every vow you're gonna look at as a harfu jar. Rather, harfu jar, if it is harfu jar or if it is an oath, then you will find isam majrur after it. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have min anfusikum.
Min is a harf of jar and anfusikum is the ism majrur.
Not the whole anfusikum. We need to stop because
Anfusi.
anfusikum are two words.
Anfusi.
Yes. So min harfu jar, anfusi isam majrur, and then with isam, if you see an attached pronoun, so this attached pronoun is jar in status. Remember last class?
Yep.
We can attach attached pronoun with isam, and basically I'm adding to it that when that happen, it is our basically idafa fragment. We are creating possession, right? So
Yep.
from within themselves, basically. Okay, then we have fi. Fi is harfu jar, al-qasasi.
Qasasi. B is a harf of jar and al-qasasi is the ism majrur.
Yes. Okay, and qasas mean like retribution. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the law of retribution, there is life for you. Fil qasasi hayatun. Then we have yes alunaka. So they are asking you ka, right? They are asking you, this ka is attached pronoun.
Yeah.
Anil anfali, about anfal, about the spoils of war or war booty. So an is what?
An is a harf of jar.
And
And
al
and
anfal.
anfali is the ism majrur.
Very good, beautiful, Sarish. Now, wa ala Allahi falyatawakkalil mu'minun.
Ala is a harf of jar and Allahi is the ism majrur.
The word Allah. What do we say, Sarish?
Lafzul jalala.
Very good, beautiful. So, wa ala Allahi, ala is harfu jar, the lafzul jalala is ism majroor.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how we are going to say. So beautiful message over here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that alallahi, on Allah, falyatawakkalil mu'minun. The believer should believe or have tawakkul or trust only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one else we can have tawakkul. If we think we are believer, then this is how we should be. We should have our 100% tawakkul only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have hatta matula'il fajr.
Hatta is a harf of jar and matla'i is the ism majrur.
Very good. And the meaning is until the rise of the dawn. Then
Yes.
hatta hinin. Hatta
Hatta is a harf of jar. Hinin is the ism majrur.
very good. And the translation would be until a time. Then ila yahdi ila rushdi.
Ila is a harf of jar and rushdi is the ism majrur.
Very good. So it is talking about Quran, that Quran guides towards what is rushd, what is good or what is right. Okay, so Then here is the list of all 17 the list of harfu jar over here. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, munzu, muz, khala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So you guys see few new words over here. So
Yep.
they are harfu jar, but we are interested only the 11 that are used in Quranic Pak. Now that the top letter in the row attached directly to the word following it. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. You see that they are always going to get attached to an ism, meaning directly they are attached. Unlike an, because an can stand by itself, and then after an we're gonna have as-saati or anil anfal, we see, right? So they are not directly attached to the ism, but ba, bismillah, we see that it's look like one word, right? So it is directly attached. So this is what basically it is saying. Then when they are going, okay, we already talked about that when it is going to be ana version, then how this attached pronoun going to behave. Now remember that harfu jar ism makes the ism after it jar in status. Okay, we already discussed all these things already. So now see jar, how jar gonna look like, and what did we learn so far. So jar, if it is ending sound, it gonna look like muslimin, right? Musa, if it is non-flexible, it is not going to show us, right? Then Yusufa, even though it is look like nasab, but we know that this is partly flexible and partly flexible ism. Their jar status would be with fatha, right? So Yusufa is jar in status. Muslimaini, this dual combination, ani, aini, right? So this combination is jar, this aini combination. Then muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. So muslimina, again plural combination, that is jar. Muslimatin, so muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin, right? So this muslimatin, jar in status. And then who, attached pronoun. These attached pronoun are jar in status.
Yeah.
Right? When they attach to an ism. When these attached pronoun get attached to a fail, then they can be nasab, right? But over here, we are talking about these attached pronoun. When they get attached to an ism, they are always jar. Okay, now let's do some more practice over here. Bi hijaratin min sijil. So how word bi hijaratin?
Hijaratin is a ending sound for feminine.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is feminine because we see ta marbuta over here, and this is ending sound, and ba is harfu jar basically, right?
Yeah.
And hijaratin is al-Majrur.
Yeah.
Hijara mean stone.
Stones.
Yeah, and see we have two harfu jar fragments side by side over here. So this is one, and then we have min
Min is a harf of jar and Jailin is the al-Majrur.
Yes. So basically, yes, this is Jar-Majrur fragment, right? So we are going to check mark yes over here. Then in the second, it says man ta. What do you guys think about it? Is that harfu jar?
No, it's
Yes.
How it is?
It's not.
Oh, sorry, it's not.
Because it is man.
Sorry, it's man, not min.
Okay, so that happened in Quranic Pak a lot. We see so many man in Quranic Pak. So that's why we need to be carefully watching that if it is man or min, because we need kasra over here to have harfu jar, right? So this is not. Then we have fi ma'zilin.
He is a harf of jar and ma'azilin is it's a majrur, so it's a harf of jar.
Yeah. Okay, then we have tallahi.
Yes. The harf of jar. Allah is it's a majrur.
Allah.
The word Allah, the word lafzul
Lafzul jalala.
Yes, it's a majrur over here. Then we have hatta matla'il fajr. We already did that, right? So hatta harfu jar matlai is a majrur. Qa'as, we did that. So this is yes. Li kulli humazatin. So li is what?
Li is a harf of jar and kulli is a majrur.
Very good. So this is basically our Jar-Majrur fragment. Then ba'da zikri.
Ba is a harf of jar and
No, ba'da is not harfu jar. Do we remember? Ba, ta, kaf, lam. Does ba'da come in it?
no, ba is a harf of jar.
No, ba'da is not harfu jar. Ba'da is something else that we are going to learn soon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's not. It is a fragment, but this is some different fragment. It's not Jar-Majrur fragment.
I know this.
Yeah, you know that, but we didn't learn it yet, right?
Yes.
Okay, then we have ma'al usri.
Ma'al usri. No.
No, again, this is a fragment, but something it's a different fragment that we did not learn yet. So it is not Jar-Majrur fragment. Then ala ta'ami.
Ala is a harf of jar and ta'ami is a majrur.
Very good. And ala ta'amil miskin mean so on feeding the miskin. So they do not like encourage other people and themselves to feed needy people. Anil anfali.
Ain is a harf of jar and anfali is a majrur.
Okay, very good. Wal adiyati.
Wa is a ismu majrur. Sorry.
It's wow is a harf of jar and adiyati is a majrur.
Very good. Okay, what kind of word is adiyati? What do we know about this word?
It's a plural feminine.
Very good. It's plural. It's a plural feminine combo. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking oath over here on the warrior horses, the horses that participate in the war. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking oath on them. Wal adiyati is jar in status. Okay, we have some more to talk about, and basically some of them we already discussed.
Your microphone.
Is that okay if I take 5 minutes over?
Sister Raha, your microphone is really low.
Now is it fine now?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it okay if I take 5 more minutes to explain what is left?
Yes.
Okay, so basically we are talking about lam of harfu jar over here. So as I discussed already, that when it is going to attach with the attached pronoun, it is going to take fatha, otherwise it is going to take kasra. So remember the example lillahi or lirrasuli. So we are this lam will take kasra when it is attached to any ism, but when it wanna attach to attached pronoun, it is going to take fatha. Always remember that, right? And we have all this list over here that we did last class, and only the exception is li over here, right? Okay, one thing. Second thing is about this ka. Now, we know how many cars by now? How many cars?
We know two.
We know two cars now. And what were they?
Harf of jar and what do you call attached pronoun?
Yes, now we know two kaf. One is we just learned today, bata kaf lam ra. This is harfu jar, and the other kaf we learned last class, which was attached pronoun. Now, how we are going to differentiate, because they both get attached, right? This kaf is going to get attached, and the other kaf is also going to get attached. So how we are going to differentiate them? So the good example, look over here, pay attention. So when we say baytun, right? And I want to attach the attached pronoun to make it a fragment. I want to say your house, right? So where this kaf, this harfu jar kaf, I'm wanna attach, sorry, this attached pronoun kaf, I want to attach with baytun. Should I put in the beginning or at the end?
At the end.
At the end. I cannot put in at the beginning, right? So I want to say your house, I need to say baytuka or baytuhu, right? But if I want to attach this this harfu jar, what I need to do? Should I put it at the end or in the beginning?
Beginning.
Yeah, I can put in the beginning ka bayt, and then I need to make it jar, right?
Yeah.
Ka baytin. So what would be the translation?
For the feminine, I mean
No,
the
no, ka baytin. What is ka mean?
ka means
Like
Like. So ka baytin would be
like house.
like house, or bayti I can add, right? Ka bayti, like my house. I'm giving the example like my house. This is something you have like my house, right? So basically what I'm trying to teach you guys over here is that when I am using attached pronoun, it is always come at the end of the ism. It is going to get attached at the end of the ism. Rabbu ka, your Rab. But this harfu jar kaf is always going to attach in the beginning, right? It cannot come at the end. So this is very easy to differentiate. There shouldn't be any problem at all. One more time, I'm going to repeat. The attached pronoun ka is always going to get attached at the end of the ism. And this harfu jar kaf is always going to be in the beginning. Okay, easy?
Yes.
You guys get it? Okay. Where like on a lighter note, I just want to share one story. When I started my very first batch, and there was she is very good friend of me. She was a student with, like my first student, I should say, first student and a friend. So she is always asking question, which is kind of, you know, that was first time I'm teaching, and she was the first time student, right? So a lot of confusion, and sometimes she asked question like spin my head, oh, what she is asking. So whenever she say, Rahat, I want to ask something, I say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, I'm in trouble. So she asked me that, okay, we have this this harfu jar, right? And this harfu jar basically can attach to like attached pronoun, right? And we have attached pronoun kaf. So now we have two kafs together and they can attach basically, right? So harfu jar and attached pronoun we see in the last class, like we say lahu, right? So now she was asking, what if these two wanna get together, all these kaf, like kaka? If we are Urdu speaker, we know what is kaka mean, right?
Kaka.
Kaka is small baby, right? In Urdu, we say kaka, the small. So she said that, how are we going to translate? Or is it possible that we have these two cars together, kaka? So I said, okay, let me think. And then, yes, it makes sense, right? So ka is harfu jar over here, and this ka is attached pronoun and meaning like you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was so funny. And I want to share with you guys, because you must be thinking and attaching different things with this. So you will come across that kind of instance as well, right? Okay, so moving on. Again, as I said, that waw can be harfu jar and waw can be the connector or something else. And same is the situation with the lam. Lam can be harfu jar, and lam sometimes can be lam for emphasis. This is new for us over here. And you know that this nahnu, what do you think this is? What kind of pronoun is nahnu here?
No.
We
Yeah, but what
Nahnu.
kind of pronoun?
Oh, it's an independent pronoun.
attached. No attached.
Yeah. So this is independent pronoun. And
Oh.
see, Islam is attached. So we're not going to say this Islam is harfu jar and this nahnu is al-Majrur. No, because this is independent pronoun.
Yeah.
And independent pronoun does not get attached to anything, right? But
Yeah.
this lam is for emphasis. So this lam is not harfu jar. And we see many examples in Quranic. One ayah says, Inna haza lahuwa. So you see with huwa, we have this lam of emphasis. And same over here, lahu. Wa inna allaha lahu wal azizul hakim. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there is no doubt at all. Then lahu, again, this lam is emphasis. That certainly, definitely, no doubt about it. He is the one who has all these authorities and he is hakim. Right? So this lam comes for emphasis. And the examples over here, how this vow over here is not oath. How do I know it's not oath? Wattaqullah, wattaqun nara. So wattaqu. Do you think this is harfu jar here?
No.
No.
No. Because after vow, this is fail. Wattaqu is a fail. It's not ism. Then wa'ati'u. So after this vow, again we have fail. So this vow is not harfu jar over here or vow of oath, rather it is connector over here, right? So we will see so many vows in Quranic Pak, and not every vow we're gonna think as a vow of oath. Okay, then one more thing that sometimes with an, we have another kind of ism, which is ma over here, right? And this an and min, they get attached to this ma. And when that happen, we're gonna say them amma, like we say in 30th para, amma yatasaalun, right? So basically, this is an plus ma. And same thing is mimma, right? So min plus ma. So mimma razaqnahum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says many times in Quran Pak that whatever I have given you, spend out of it. So min ma, mimma, right? So notice that we are joining these two words and with the shadda. And then
ila, we say ila, what is happening when we are attaching attached pronoun, even though we discussed it last class, this ya will open up and it will become with dot. So ilayka or alayka or alayhi, right? So we need to be aware of these changes. And this is the same thing that I just explained. Basically, this is the summary. You can read, go through. And now, what is the homework? The homework is that, subhanallah, the word tallahi, I just quickly want to go, and that I said that this is special kind of oath. And basically it is used in unusual circumstances to show some overwhelming emotions, anger, frustration, and astonishment. So this tallahi, when it is used, basically the situation is very intense over there. And we can see in Quranic Pak it says tallahi, by Allah, tafta'u tazkuru Yusufa, you will never leave or cease remembering Yusuf. So these are the brother of Yusuf al-Islam talking to Hazrat Yaqub al-Islam, right? So we see that how many different kinds of emotions were going on. Hazrat Yaqub al-Islam at the very end, very sad, right? And on the other hand, all these jealous brother, they have their own emotions, right? So many emotions are going on in this tallahi, because they were jealous and they do not know how they should stop Hazrat Yaqub al-Islam, remember Yusuf al-Islam. Then another instance in tallahi, when Hazrat Ibrahim used this word, and he was saying tallahi, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la akidanna asnamakum ba'da an tuwallu mudbir. I will definitely, no doubt about it, this noon over here with Shadda is very emphatic. It's saying that I will plot a plan to destroy your idols after you have gone away. So that is Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam challenging, because he was really upset. He was preaching his people that whatever they are doing wrong, and he give them so many examples that worshipping these things does not make sense. Rather we need to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So he has so many emotions, and right over here he's very angry, very upset, very frustrated. So the word Allah is used over here. So rest, inshallah, you guys can go through. I have given the meanings of all these, and these are the good example of Harf Jar and Ism Majrur in Quranic Pak. And what is your homework? Homework is that I have underlined few words, and that are 20. So 20 words I have underlined them, and I numbered them. So you guys are going to label them. One example is, for example, you say Vashamsi, right? You're gonna write the translation. This is by the sun, or this is swearing by the sun, right? Wow is Harf Jar, Ashamsi is Ism Majrur. This is how you're just going to label, that's all. For the words that I have highlighted. Okay, so make sense?
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So inshallah, with that we are going to end our session. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quranil Hakim wa nafani wa iyyakum bi ayati wa zikril hakim. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.